We're live now. Holy smokes. I didn't know if it was going to happen or not because this thing has been really, really slow. I was actually watching my boy Darian. I got really short shorts fishing on his stream there for a little bit. So, I don't know. The YouTube world is really slow right now. So, hopefully, you guys can bear with me. Let me know if you can hear me or not, because I did tweak on the microphone just a second while ago, and as you know, nothing ever goes like it's supposed to on the Baitman Show. But tonight we are going to talk about some big ass worms, because if you ain't got a big worm, sometimes you ain't going to get the big girls. And it's one of my favorite ways to fish, especially offshore. What's up, St. Crest? Glad you're in here. Brad Crumb, go Vols, buddy. I cannot believe that it's almost June, and so we got July, August, and September, baby. It's time for Vols to happen. We're gonna put 120,000 in Nealon, coronavirus or not. So, dude, tactical fisherman, I'd love to see a 7 pounder. So let me get this thing shared up on Facebook and all that, because I haven't been doing that lately. And I want to let you guys know, I had some stuff I had to tend to around the house today with the kids, and I didn't get the giveaway stuff ready. But I'm going to stream tomorrow evening before I go to work, and it's just going to be giveaways. So I really got to get that caught up. I don't want to let anybody down. So let me get up on, let me share this on Facebook. I just used my cell phone. So what's up, Brett Thompson? Hunter, what's up, my man? And we'll see if we can get a bunch of people on here tonight while we talk about these, which are big ass worms. This is the new 9.5-inch divine. I don't even think it's a shaky worm now. I mean, this is just a big 9-inch ring worm. And I'm going to show you my favorite of all time worm in just a minute. And it's very similar to this. Let me get this shared up on the Facebook. If I can find it here. I'm trying to use my phone. My phone usually works better. It will usually show my stream on here. No, don't want that. Here we go. 38 people in here. We got to get about 200. So make sure you guys smash the like button. I just liked my own video. How about that? I am not ashamed to do that. Copy link. I'll put this up on Facebook. Dude, bullworms are great. We're going to go over everything. I don't consider the Zoom Dead Ringer much of a big worm. I don't throw it that much. I like the smaller Dead Ringer. Dude, Brent Anderson is bringing the heat. Made top 10 there. Brent's a great dude. Also want to give a shout out to the third place guy, Michael Bean. Great dude from Bowling Green, Kentucky. I've met him once. He's a good friend of my fishing partner. Actually met during a Costa event on Kentucky Lake, and my partner said that guy was the most nicest guy I've ever met on the water. We shared the same water. All we did is tell jokes all day long and caught fish next to each other. So shout out to Michael Bean. Great job, man. Third place there at Pickwick. And very consistent, 17 to 19 pounds all 3 days. What's up, Austin Hicks? What's up, Brian Holder? I am trying to share this over to my Baitman page. I'm sorry about that, Sean. A lot of crazy stuff going on right now in the country, riots and all that stuff. So hopefully more people will decide to come in and watch YouTube instead of looting the Target store, because Target don't carry no baits. So we'll talk. I'm just going to talk the worms I throw. I've really not got everything that I'd like to mess with. I love the Upton's worms. I don't have any. I look for them. I'm totally out. They're pretty much the precursor to the bullworm. But let me get this on my page. And if you don't follow me on Facebook, make sure you look me up. Give it a like. That's kind of what my little thing is. Kevin the Baitman Baxter. All I'm about done. I'm about done. Shoot, I messed up. I feel like this t-shirt I'm wearing is almost a medium, but it's a large. Best morning baits for bass. A morning dawn colored robo worm. I don't know. Man, that light is so hot on me. The closer I get to the light ring, the more it like brightens me up. So I really want to try to stay a little bit farther back. I think that makes the video look a little bit better. So, by the way, Working Class Zero, these right here, Battle Shad, they're available right now if they haven't sold out. They basically just went live. So, Robert, I don't have any Magnum baits. I used to. I don't know what happened, but as far as morning baits, man, I'll be honest. Top water, and I love a spinnerbait first thing in the morning. I don't know why, especially deep fish. If I can pull out a big spinnerbait in the morning, and gotta have a little current and a little bit of clouds, that big spinnerbait will catch you a really big fish. Not gonna get many bites, but when you do, glad to see, Rich, you got your Ignite baits, man. They're really good guys, man. And we're gonna do that Ignite bait giveaway too. I've never seen a depths Kinko. I think the Speedway Brad would do fine because you can burn it as fast as you want to, and it floats really good. But all right, we're going to talk big worms. You guys can ask whatever, but got a few things first. Gotta give a shout out to Spanky Lambert in the tackle trap. Hooked me up with a couple of these because I needed them. So this is the new Tatula SV103. I got a 7-to-1 and a 6-to-1. One, I can throw some cranks on this if I want to. I like a 6-to-1, throw a hair jig, stuff like that. Actually, I throw a hair jig on like a 7, but a smaller swim baits, bass tricks, and then I can turn around and throw cranks on this in the fall or the spring, and chatterbaits. So this is the new SV. You can see it's got that new Tatula spider on there that really doesn't make it do any different. But the old version, the 2017, you could actually move the cast control knob. I don't know if you see that right there, the cast control knob. This one is not, it's not adjustable, so it comes preset from the factory. Different color spool, more of a matte finish spool, but man, this thing, it's a little bit smaller, and you can see how I can palm that reel very well. Let's see if I can, I can palm almost the whole reel. So, if I'm throwing worms or something, which I'll probably do on my 7-to-1, I can tap the line on that thing. The other one's a little bit bigger, but I really like the looks of this reel. It is buttery smooth out of the box. And, I've got some Shimano SLX on the way too. And in my opinion, I feel like this reel and the SLX are the best two reels for the money. I mean, this thing performs as good as a zillion. For the money. 190 bucks. Tackle Trap has them. Your local place should carry these as well. Give them a shout out. Omnia Fishing has the new Tatula SVs. I'll link some of this stuff down in the description. So, well, they have this preset Lunkers and Lure Fishing where this reel performs at the best with the way this is set. Now, if you want to be able to adjust your cast control, buy the 2017 Tatula SVs, but I trust the guys at Daiwa. They know what they're doing. The Tatula 100s are like that, and dude, I love these. And especially if you want to throw lighter baits, man, this is the deal. So I got a 6-to-1. Now it's not a chrome like the old one. It's more of like a midnight gunmetal, and I really like that. So that gum Citizen sold out already. So got one in a 6-to-1 there, and then got me a 7, and I'm probably going to try to grab 2 more. I want to get a bigger Tatula just for throwing swim baits and stuff. So I want to see if you can turn it, but it is a pain. And personally, I'll be honest with y'all. I basically, you know, this right here is it's not your drag. It's the brakes. I turn all my brakes on 0. And that's just like my old Shimano's. There's a 7-to-1. See, the old ones, you had different color drag washers and all that stuff. Red was 7-to-1, gold was 6, and purple was 8. These are all the same. You actually have to look at the reel where that says 7-to-1. But different handles too, like these handles. But yeah, man. When to pick up the 100 versus the 150 size. Personally, I like a 150 size if I'm handling a little bit bigger baits. Maybe throwing deep crankbaits or swim bait, stuff like that. But day in and day out, I like a smaller reel. I like that 100 size. It fits my hands. I don't have giant hands, but I don't have stubby hands. That 100's perfect to me. I do like the CT Tatulas and stuff like that as well. That's hilarious, Dustin. Love them CP custom baits. What's up, Frankie? But we'll just start this off. Let me grab all my big worms here. This is why I can't get organized in the bait room. This is just stuff I found in a tub that I need to put up. Also got some new stuff today. But let me go here and find the OGs. Where's my good stuff? OG. You gotta be kidding me. Gotta be kidding me. Where we at here? Alright. Just one. Dude, what the heck? Alright. My favorite worm of all time. The big worm, what's up? Yeah, big worm from the movie Friday, so. Best place to buy bulk spools of Sunline. I bet Tackle Trap has them. I'm trying to think of who. You may check Omnia Fishing. Tackle Warehouse is great, but you know, Hookup Tackle has some bulk stuff. Land Big Fish was having a sale, so. But this is my favorite worm of all time, and they are kind of hard to get. I've caught more big fish on a worm on this than anything else, and you can look up the 2000 and I think it's 2000 and maybe 7 or 2006 or 7 Bassmaster on Kentucky Lake. Well, Marizo Shimizu basically wins the tournament within a few miles of my house, right in front of Moore's Resort. And this is what he caught Big Mama on, but I've been using this thing since I've been in middle school. And this is the Lucky Strike original ringer. So it has a rib-like body, and this is the color. I throw plum, green pumpkin, I throw a color called grasshopper. When it gets really clear, I go like grasshopper. But it's got a nice ribbon tail, and it's got a segmented ring-like body. Number one, this thing smashes in brush piles. But what's really good about this worm, it just collapses up really, really well. But I'm going to show you. You rig it up. Find me a worm hook here. It's too small. I pretty much throw a 4/0 in this worm because it's not. There we go. This will work. And I'm going to let you guys know right now. I never use a big worm with a weight heavier than 3/8. I don't care if I'm fishing 7 foot of water or 30 foot. 3/8 is as heavy as I'll ever go. Every now and then I might go like 7/16, but yes, there is a Mago monster, and you can still get them. I will show it to you here in just a little bit. I'm going to show you why this thing is awesome. This ringworm, if I can get all this stuff put up. Instead of opening up my terminal tackle box, just use what I got here in front of me. Baby Huey's a good one. That's coming up pretty quick. But this ringworm, this is just a 4/0. This is the style hook I like for a big worm. This is a 6 cents. It's the stout. No, it's the jugular worm hook, but it has this O'Shaughnessy style bend. Man, I just hook up on them things. That, and I use an owner round bend. I do not use EWG style hooks on big worms. You just don't get a good hook in for me. Now, if you go to Mexico or somewhere like that, I would definitely go to the EWG hooks, the super lines, because the bass pull so hard. But very simple. It's just a Texas rig. But what I like about this worm is when I put this in here and I rig this thing, and I always pull my eye down straight. My eye is straight in there. When I rig this up, man, this hook point, it just doesn't have a lot of, as soon as this thing bends, you see that plastic? It's on the rib. It just pops. It pops right out. And the hookup on this worm is really, really good. So that's one thing I really like about it. But that's the Lucky Strike ringworm. You can buy them still, and the rumor has it Netbait is pouring this worm for them, so I'm fixing to order like 500. I literally have 500 here. But when they're biting this thing, you will go through it bad because they're not very, very durable. But ribbon tail worm, that's my number one. That's always going to be my go-to. Plum. And but 4/0 hook in there, you can go a 5, but I do the best with a 4. Now the other big worm, and these are hard to find too, is also a Lucky Strike worm, and this is the Baby Huey. So pretty much you're going to see from me, I only use a few color worms. I use plum. I'll use like a morning dawnish color and some sort of green pumpkin or watermelon candy, and I throw green pumpkin blue. The colors I throw, it's not like the water's a certain color. They're either going to bite red or they're going to bite some variation of green pumpkin or watermelon, whether that's due to watercolor or whatnot. But dude, on the Tennessee River, if it's red, they bite it, or green pumpkin. I pretty much are going to throw big worms deep, but I have caught a lot of fish shallow on a power worm. But this is the Baby Huey from Lucky Strike, and it's been copied by several other brands. But what's really cool about this worm, see all these segments? I think Producto makes a worm very similar to this as well. All these little bitty segments, and it's got a little paddle tail. Now, it's not a swimming worm, but I like this worm when it's low current days, and later on in the summer they seem to like this style worm better. This is a worm I do not hop much. I slowly drag this thing, and I will use a little bit bigger hook because this is a little bit bigger worm. This is almost at 11 inches. You can see the comparison. You got a 9-inch worm there in my right hand and an 11. Now this color isn't plum. This is cranapple, but still you got a red base with green flake in it. If you can't find plum, get red bug. It's still got the same base color. Now, some companies, I'm going to be honest, their plum is not plum. It's blue fleck. To me, a plum worm should be almost this reddish blood color with blue flake. And whereas red bug is basically the same color with green flake. But I know certain parts of the country, red shad's really good. Tequila Sunrise works too, but I'm confident in plum. But I love the Baby Huey, especially low current. Pickwick Lake, man, they eat this worm really, really good. I know the guys in Texas, they like these. So Red shad is a whole lot more, got a whole lot more black in it. I hear you, hell bass. I hate to tell my wife what 8 inches worm really looks like. Let's see, you throw a 4/0 hook on this one, it'll work. It's not bad, but it's still pretty small. I'm still going to keep that same round band style. And one cool thing about the old Lucky Strikes, you know, they were made in the USA. This package is pretty dang old. It's kind of crazy. I found these in a bargain bin in a store a few years ago, and I bought them up. So I'm going to put these down here. The best they ever had on this worm right here, these bags used to come 20 count in a bag. I went through 6 bags in one day. That was back in the Kentucky Lake Prime. The problem is, if 13 to 15 inch bass, those are the ones that tear your worm up, not the 7-8 pounders. Those little small ones, they come up in head shake. So. Hella Bass has a ton of stuff. Let's see. Rage Tail Anaconda is a good one, man. I like to cut that little tab off. Nothing's really happened to culprit. I think a lot of guys have really just kind of went away from them. They still catch fish. My dad, that's about all he throws. Whitewell, yes, I do fish big worms in shallow water. Every now and then. I don't like flipping and pitching them, but I'll like fish those secondary points and maybe fish it off the end of a laydown where I can stay way off casting distance. Really like that. I have not thrown the tomahawk. I'm not a big fan of the double tails on there. I just like a single or straight tail. I'm sure it works really good, but Zoom Big Dead Ringer, that's not my style. I know a lot of guys love that worm. It's a really good, throw it out there and just let it soak and let the current kind of move around the tail. But Caleb Morgan, Zoom Mag 2, that's a 7 inch. I don't really consider that big, but that is a great worm. Probably one of the original, you know, worm fishing worms. That and the culprit 7 inch is really good. So. Yeah, motor oil has always been a popular color with the older guys. Motor oil red flakes a pretty good color as well. I do like the Summer Crawl Dirty Sanchez. Now, speaking of a little different, this is once it starts getting into July. A lot of guys ask about scent. I'm a big fan of the power worm and green pumpkin blue. I do throw it quite a bit, especially on Lake Berkley. This is kind of my jam, and I don't even know if they make green pumpkin blue in the power worms anymore. I've got plenty of them, but whew, them things stink. Problem about the power worm, you will rip them really easy. Now, they re-released this worm, which was actually one I liked more. This is the 12-inch power worm. So one thing about the power worm is, if you notice how long the body is, but the 12-inch one doesn't have a real long tail, whereas the 10-inch is pretty decent sized body and a lot of tail. The 12 is a lot more worm and less tail. But dude, I love that ringworm. Actually, it's funny you say that, Bill. On this green pumpkin blue, a power worm, I caught about a 5.5 pound smallmouth in about 6 foot of water on Lake Berkley. It absolutely wrecked this thing. But Kentucky Lake, I throw a plum. Berkley, I go to stuff like blue flat and green pumpkin blue. This one right here, that's watermelon candy. Again, some kind of green or red is going to work. So nothing's happened to Berkley power worms. A lot of guys just don't carry them anymore. It depends on where you live. You go up north in Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, power bait dominates. You get down south, it's Zoom, V&M, Netbait, not as much stuff. But now when I go to this 12-inch worm, I'm going to throw a bigger hook. I'm going to go up to a 5/0. And if that's not big enough for you, see if I can find my little pack. These are kind of a specialty hook. Now this is an owner oversized worm hook. This is a 7/0. Now pumpkin seed is discontinued. Lucas, I do fish shallow with worms, but I don't throw a lot of big worms shallow. I'll throw something smaller. Now this is owner 7/0 for 12-inch worms and up. I'll really like. Now it is not a needle point. It is a cutting point. But you put this on here. That's very relative to putting the 4 or 5/0 hook in a 10-inch worm, and that's, you know, a 12-inch power worm right there. Luke, you like my videos and you have cancer, bud? I hate to hear that, man. Well, I'm glad you're on the stream, man. Sorry to hear that with you. Yeah, so this is the biggest hook I'll use in a worm. That's the 7/0. Pretty much sticking that to these 12-inch to 15-inch like the Netbait, which you'll see here in a minute. But power worms, I do believe that scent gets you some more bites, especially in the summer. A lot of pressure on the water. Everybody's fishing. There's more guys throwing worms in the July, August. So I like the power worm. Downfall, they tear really, really easy. Really easy. Put these in the box. So I hear y'all talking about Netbait. So I got to bust out the Netbait. I thought I had another thing, some net baits in here. Oh yeah. So let's start with the straight tail worm. I bought this color the other day. I haven't thrown it. Caleb, I don't have a lot of culprits. One thing about culprit, if you don't use them, they bleed everywhere. So yes, black blue tail is killer on the power worm. So is plum, blue fleck, and they make a fire and ice in the 12-inch. It's really good. But so this is a lot of guys who use this as a shaky worm. Let's get my shaky head box out here. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, this right here. It is right here. So on these straight tail worms, every now and then I'll rig them Texas rig, but even out deep, I'm going to fish them on some sort of shaky head. I really like a round ball. It's my favorite. Dig through here. Get one. What is going on here? What is going on? Alright. Let's get this guy out here too. Get a few of these shaky heads out here. Get the 6 cents. Alright. It's right here if I need it. Alright. So the Super T-Mac is basically, what's up Aaron Gillison? I don't throw anything over like 3/8 of an ounce with this. Actually, a quarter is my favorite size. This is a color called Flippant Brown Highlight. So it's got this blue, brown, very natural looking color. And my favorite head to throw with the trick worms or stuff like this. This is a Picasso shakedown head right here. Very simple, super sharp hook, light. And I just take, what I do, trick, bite the first part of that worm off so your screw can actually break through that plastic coating. And I'll actually push the screw down into the worm just a little bit and then start spinning. And these have such a small screw, it can be tricky. And I'm going to just thread it up just like that. Now this is more of a finesse approach. When it's tough, it's hot, I'll use 12-pound fluorocarbon on this deal right here and just drag it real slow on the bottom. And if I want to go fish up shallow, I can throw this same worm around boat docks, around riprap, all I want to. And I just put that little hook down like that right there in the back. And dude, you can go to work with this thing right here. I really like this color. I've never seen it before, so I bought some. But breadcrumb, I don't throw the big worm on a wobblehead too much, but I know guys that do. So Cameron, I do love the 6 cent swim baits. The Divine swim bait's really good. Great on a jig trailer, great on a swim bait head. I like the bigger one. Really good swim jig trailer. I love the Gambler 13-inch ribbon tail, and for some reason I can't find mine. I don't. Woo! $25 make you holler from Oakster's Bassin. Appreciate you, man. Jeff Crete states the big bite squirrel tail is the goat in shaky worms. What is my greatest of all time? I'm fixing to get to that, but if you want to know the answer, since you sent that $25 make you holler, this is a Netbait T-Mac clay. They may have this color on American Bait Works. It's called Flippin' Brown Highlight. It's almost like a brown magic crawl. Dude, this thing's nasty. I found it at Fast Eddie's Bait and Tackle. He has a ton of them here. This is my favorite shaky worm. And it's not really a shaky worm. Boy, I've caught some absolute studzillas on this guy right here. And this is the Plum Zoom Magnum Trick Worm. And I use a 3/8 ounce ball head on this. And sometimes I'll go down to a quarter. And I absolutely smash them. The Tennessee River guys know the power of this right here. But I fish a shaky worm different. I do a lot more dragging than sitting there and shake it. But also, this is a nasty Nico rig bait. I learned about the Nico rig from Brent Ayler because he was throwing this worm right here in Redbug on the ledges and smashing them. A Mondo worm on a shaky head. Ooh. I'll tell you guys this. I don't throw ribbon tails on shaky heads. I don't know why. I get way more bites on a ribbon tail on a Texas rig. And the reason for it, when you're throwing a Texas rig in a ribbon tail, that weight hits and that worm's following your weight, so that it lets the ribbon tail kind of fall and hover around, and it kind of lets it move. If you've ever seen a ribbon tail worm in a pool in really clear water, the weight hits and the worm follows it, and it kind of twists and does action. On a shaky head, it goes, as soon as it hits the bottom, it's done. There's no action on the ribbon tail. But pretty much you throw whatever you want to. If that's what has your confidence, go for it, man, because I do strange things too. Man, do all you own, Cameron, is Guggen baits? I've never thrown a Guggen bait on anything, to be honest with you. But I do like throwing beaver on a shaky head. That is a nice trick for some smallmouths. Hank, I don't swim a ribbon tail worm that much, but it is a deadly technique. I actually will tell you this. My fishing partner, we're on a school of fish, and I was catching them on a crankbait, which usually is the opposite. He's catching them, and he was throwing a worm, and long story short, he's almost reeled it to the boat. He's trying to get it in to get the net, and catches like a 6.5 with intent for the boat, reeling a power worm. And after that, he started swimming that worm behind me, throwing a crankbait, and just, dude, he caught the lights out. It was awesome. But that's never happened again. It was just crazy. But that is my number one shaky worm. And I do like the Crete squirrel tail worm, but I wouldn't put it in my top 5. Got to remember, Crete gets paid to say that. But I love the Magnum trick worm. Texas, California, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas. This is one of the best selling shaky worms. And, you know, we can compare it to the T-Mac, which is Berkley a trick worm. It's a lot fatter head. And one thing that's cool about this is it's easy to put nail weights in this for Nico rigging. So I've already knocked the Magnum trick. While I got it out here, I might as well tell you my other favorite colors. It's very simple. If I'm not throwing plum in it, I throw red bug. This is the Brent Ayler color, man. I really like that one. If I can't find plum, I can catch them in red bug. It just don't know why. So, oh, let's see here. Every bait that Guggen's put out I have, but they have a different brand name on it. So what happened there? You know, I'm not sure what you mean by they have a different brand name on it, but do you ever flip a large worm and cover? Every now and then. Dan Moorhead won an FLW event flipping that baby Huey. You can look that up on YouTube. And then he caught a bunch of fish out in front of Moore's on a crankbait. So, let's see. Best weedless Nico hook, owner sniper, or the VMC Nico. That's the only two I've used. I really like that owner sniper, but for the money, that VMC, you can get them for like $2.99 a pack. Oh yeah, without a doubt, Oak Stars. I'm just on the big worm juice tonight, so I thought I had another pack of Mag Trick Worms I wanted to show you guys. Oh yeah, this is a sneaky good color. This is hard to find one. It's a Zoom worm, so Zoom. This is called Killer Dawn, man. This the only problem with some of their colors, and this is one that does it, man. It starts to fade a little bit. But that's Killer Dawn. It's kind of a purple and some blue. It's got some bright blue flake in it. Water gets cleared up. I like doing that right there. I really like Nico rigging this thing as well. This is a special run color. You don't find it a lot of places. And the ones I have are starting to fade, which sucks. Some of these, there's something about certain colors of baits they do not like being stored in the sunlight. And even though they're in my bait room, they still don't take the UV. But I really love that Killer Dawn color, man. That thing is nasty. It's almost like Morning Dawn with blue flake in it. They have these, let's see, I found some Fast Eddie's, some local places. I think Gunnersville Tackle has some of these. But you can look them up on the internet, and you can't find them very much. Where I used to work, I had these in there. But also a nasty color in the Old Monster. But that's a special run color. You have to get it from a certain distributor. So I do like the XO ribbon, the 10-inch one. So they used to send me baits, like, let me test Biospawn baits. And I really liked them. But they quit sending me shit. So when they hired a Guggen Squad guy to do all their stuff, which actually Chris Bulaw, I liked his stuff. He don't really do much with the Guggens anymore. But after that, they quit sending me stuff. So. What's up, Levi Widget? Moon Dust is a great color. Man, I wish I had more. So we'll stick back with the net bait. So we had the regular T-Max. And then we got this nasty guy. This is the Super T-Mac. So an even longer trick worm style. Very natural. I like to throw Summer Craw. They used to make a Table Rock Red in this T-Mac that was always really, really good. You can get plum and some other colors. But this thing, what's good about this, when it's late in the year and it's tough, you get a lot of action out of this worm. It floats really, really good, which is great when there's not a lot of current, and they do you don't have to have the current to get action out of this worm. I fish it really slow. And I go to a little bit longer shank, shaky head. This is a spot sticker shaky head. It's got a lot longer shanked hook than I just had it. So here's the Picasso. You can tell there's a big difference in the size of that hook. Once I get over that, 7/8 inch, again, I bite that little top off. It's got a bigger screw in this one, and I'll push it in. I tell you who else makes a really good one. If you want a long shaky head, Hog Farmer, but he makes a lot of heavy sizes, which are fine. But Nichols Lures makes a really good one too. But I like to get my worm nice and straight. Someone's going to ask me, I always like my light color on the bottom of my worm. Don't ask why. And then, there you go. That is a big old finesse shaky worm right there. Really like that. Check out the tactical bassin video. Man, this thing is awesome on the bottom. And the cool is these old net baits, they get the pork fat cooked in and all that stuff. But dude, that's nasty right there. I love the light natural colors too. Man, y'all know the worms, man. Y'all aren't spitting them out. All right, let me catch up on some questions here. I do like that 16-inch gambler worm, Chris. They're a little expensive. Super T-Mac is not discontinued, and if you want some, I know where the mother load of Super T-Macs is. Because the place I got these at today, they probably had 200 bags. So Epic Eric fished a tournament tonight, or today, and I said, "You want to stream?" He said, "Bro, we ran 80 miles one way, so we had to run 80 miles back, and I'm rough." And he said, "But I will join you soon." So. Dude, I would love to get a Daiwa Z 2020. They're a low profile, big swim bait reel, big bait reel. Got the T-wing. If you can find a good deal. Have you ever used Z-Man's trick worms? I have used the Mag Fatty Z. It's a great Nico rigging worm. The problem about Z-Man is you have to have a specialized shaky head. You can't really do the screw locks, they fall off. But for Nico rigging, I love that Mag Fatty Z. That's a good worm. And Austin Hicks, I do add scent from time to time. Yeah. I'll show you how I rig a Nico rig up here in just a second. I have seen it, St. Crest, the red one. It is nasty. And Tackle Trap, man, they treat me right, man. They're good people. Brian, there's a lot of great people out here. So, let's see. Let's show a Nico rig real quick. I'm going to have to find my finesse box somewhere. Chat. Oh, man, I got to find... I'm going to have to... I'll have to do the Nico rigging another night because I've got stuff scattered everywhere. And I'm going to knock some stuff over. It's really bad in here. But long story short, the Nico rig, I want my hook pointing toward the tail. Let's see. Thanks, no, I have not thrown a mag Ned rig. To me, a Ned rig is... Once you get over like half an ounce, it's not a Ned rig. It's just putting a worm on a jig head. So, dude, I love the 6 cents divine worm. I got it back here. I'm gonna show you all about that here in a little bit. But sticking in that bait, this is the 11-inch C-Mac, and I was telling you about this color right here. They used to make it in the Super T-Mac, but they make it in a C-Mac, and this is Table Rock Red. It's kind of like, yeah, it's got purple in it, so you know I'm all about that. But it's got a watermelon red top. This is a really natural color again. I throw this one quite a bit. Still kind of in that, it's a blend between basically plum and watermelon red. They bite this thing, so. But one thing I like is it's got that anise scent to it. These worms float really, really good. And I love the C-Mac. When we talk about underrated big worms, this one right here. Shady Banks, you can do that. You can cut the end of those your old net heads and eco rig your Z-Man plastics. Almost like I put the crappie hook in the bottom of like a zoom worm. Yeah. Now, that's all good, Chuck. No problem, man. We're always working on tackle. Now this is probably the biggest big worm I throw consistently. That and the Gambler 13-inch, which I don't have any. But this is the 15-inch Netbait C-Mag. This is a big son bitch, and it is almost all tail. When you're on a school that's got a lot of big fish and you're not getting them to bite, this guy right here will get you some bites. Mexico bass, California, places where like Chickamauga, where you're fishing for 6-pound plus bites, I'm going with the 15-inch C-Mag. I do catch them on Kentucky Lake, and believe it or not, you will catch bass that are smaller than your worm. I just keep it real simple. Plumb. But one thing about the C-Mag, it's not like a big, giant, fat 15-inch. It's pretty much the same body as the 11-inch C-Mag. It's just got a real long, extended tail. And, yeah, look at that. With some stretching. I mean, that's 20 inches right there. Thanks, Northeast Bass. And I love this stuff. We do. I need to get, yeah, the Netbait Big Son Bitch. That'd be awesome. Maybe I can get 6 cents to make a big sob. My PB oddballers is 9.4. I've done it twice. I do not throw them on a Carolina rig. I don't throw a big worm on a Carolina rig. I'll throw a big lizard. I Texas rig 90% of the time. Ribbon tail, Texas rig, straight tail. For the most part, I'm going to put it on some kind of shaky head. And every now and then I'll throw it on a Texas rig. So we got the net bait knocked out. So I'll pick this up today. I've never had any of these baits from this company on here. Picked these up at Fast Eddie's. Ooh, got some stank on it. This is a Biz Baits, the Mag Dizzy. So it's kind of got a little hand poured look. It's very flat on one side. Got the plum color, but it's got a little spade tail on the back. Thought I would try them up, look at them. Definitely a pretty good rendition of plum. I'd like to see it be a little bit more red and less purple in it. But I know the guy that owns this company seems like a really good dude. And I want to try this thing. I think on a shaky head that'd look really, really good. Probably decent Nico rig bait. And I do know their stuff floats. There's no salt in this, so anytime you find a bait and there isn't any salt, good chance they float. It's not really that big. It's 7.5 inches. It's about average size. That's what my wife would tell you. But I do like the scent that's already on it. Really cool worm from Biz Baits. Definitely going to be a ball head worm to me. Let's see here. I always like to pick up some new stuff because if you throw the same things all the time, I feel that's boring. Kind of like how guys don't mind spending $250, $300 on swim baits. It's not that. I like to prove a point to myself that, hey man, I just spent $100 on swim bait and I caught a 5-pounder on it, and I feel cool about that. It has nothing to do with expensive baits catch more fish. It's, it's kind of like it's different. Anybody can go catch a fish on a Cinco, but it's kind of like telling yourself, I had the balls to throw a $300 bait and I caught a bass on it. Now, that's not saying $300 baits are better, because to be honest, one of the best swim baits ever made is a 6-inch bullshit, and they're $50. I'm going to give y'all a challenge right here. This is a Baitman challenge. I'll have you a reward if you can find this worm for me. This is the Zoom Magnum trick worm. I was only able to ever find 2 bags of this color. This is called Huckleberry. It is a jelly blue on the bottom and brown. It's basically a copy of the Netbait watermelon jelly color, but it is in a mag trick worm. if you can find me some of these in Huckleberry, I will have a gift for you. I've got 2 left. 2 left. If I have to, I'll have to. I mean, now I've really got one because that one's tails bent. But I love this Huckleberry color. It's my favorite Z-Craw color. It's a good brush hog color as well. But they made them in a mag trick worm, and like an idiot back in the day, I ordered only 2 packs. And that's the only 2 packs I've ever been able to get my hands on. I need like 50 packs. Well, not 50, but at least 5 or 6. Alright, see what else we got. So somebody was talking about the Mag Monster. Zoom, no, they don't like me too well. That's not going to happen. Maybe we can get a special 6-inch. So here's the Mag Monster. So that's 12 inches of Magnum sized ribbon tail. Now I will tell you, compared to the 11-inch C-Mac, the Zoom Mag Monster has a lot wider body. That is plum apple. Again, a variation. The oddballers, I'm not with Mystery Tackle Box. To be honest with you, I don't think it's a bad deal, but I think everyone's getting tired of getting Guggen baits and everything and Catch Coast stuff. I've got a guy here, Chuck. His name is Alan Hickert. Man, that dude can pour awesome stuff. But Eric, if you know where I can get that color, slide in my DMs on Instagram. I had the 15-inch C-Mac on here, Silas, so we'll compare it, see if there's any difference. Let me grab it. I just put them down here. I need a tank. God, I grabbed everything but the C-Mac. Alright, so again, I just had this. I don't sell baits anymore. Well, because here's the reason, Caleb, because the last 5 or 6 baits Zooms come out with, they just knock people out. Knock people off. So here's the Netbait 15-inch C-Mac, and here's the Mago Monster. So you'll notice that the body on the Mago Monster is Magnum. It's fast. Whereas this right here is thinner, but man, sucker is long. You can tell a big difference in the length on the Netbait and this, which is this hand, and the Magnum Monster. But the body on the Magnum Monster at 12 inches is bigger than the C-Mac at 15. So these baits, these are going to float. These don't. Bait designs are a gimmick. Huh? I don't think bait designs are really a gimmick. I don't understand what you're saying there, Frankie, but what I was saying is a lot of Zoom's last few bait designs, they basically knock somebody off. The old Monster has the girth. Is that in Huckleberry? So here's the thing, I don't trust Tackle Direct very much, and I'm not trying to be a turd, but they drop ship 70% of their stuff. Like, they're tied into some of the same suppliers I used to buy from. They don't actually have a store that carries everything. They're just tying in a wholesaler and drop ship. And if that wholesaler is wrong, hunting bass, I don't know what your DM, what's your name on Instagram or something. Slide on my Instagram DM. Here's my Instagram name. I would take Huckleberry. I found it in the Z-Craw. A guy in Georgia's name is Todd. He's the one that designed that color. Ribbon tail on Texas rig all day. Producto worms are awesome. What's up, Kevin Gray? Now, we're going to talk about this bad dude. What's the best worm for spots, and can you fish too big of a worm for spots? I actually would say I don't catch a lot of spotted bass on big worms. If I catch a spot, it's usually on like a trick worm or a robo worm on a drop shot. For some reason, I don't feel they like those big worms. I could be wrong. But I don't target spotted bass very often. So this is the Strike King bull worm. Y'all have seen it before. This is the big 10-inch. This is Tequila Sunrise Red Flake. All right, Frankie. I have seen Marlon Baits. Great channel. So that's the 10-inch, very thick, kind of like that old monster. It's yeah, got the girth. Again, this is a new color. So if you guys that like that red shad Tequila Sunrise, this is the deal. I've seen them caught on this. Well, one thing here is our population of spotted bass has gone down big time. It used to be way up there. Guys, if you're new to the stream too, I'm going to let you know. What's up, Brian Crawford? Hit the like button for me. Share it. Let's get a bunch of people in here tonight, because I'll probably go for a little while. It's Saturday Night Live, man. And then I had an 8-inch bullworm in here, so I'm going to show you, compare y'all. God dang, I got some damn worms. Where we at here? Where we at? I need to get stocked up on these. I've only got one color left. This is a really good color I like. What's up, PB Dad? This is the bold bluegill color in the 8-inch bullworm from Strike King. So y'all know I like that Baxter's Bug Jig. I've caught a lot of fish on this one right here. Well, some people hit that thumbs down, man. They get some haters in there. But like my man Brian Crawford says, we don't give the crickets an audience. So comparison, 10-inch bullworm on my right, 8-inch on the left. This is a really fat worm. That is funny, Michael. The master baiters. No looting on this channel. I would agree, Lynn, and I don't know why it happened here, but I saw a 3-pounder caught this year, so that's who I was thinking about. Miss Judy over at Virginia Guide Bait Company is who I'd have to get on the Huckleberry. But you'll notice a 10-inch version, the bottom is totally different. Really flat bottom on the 8-inch bullworm, whereas the 10-inch is not quite as flat. It's more round. The worms are actually kind of totally different. Now, a guy asked about putting these things on wobble heads. A lot of guys I know throw a big 6/0 hook on a wobble head with these big bullworms and reel it on the bottom. They say it just goes crazy. I am going to try to get Skeet Reese to do a podcast, and possibly Byron Velvick. I've been checking out Byron Velvick's eBay. I'm not going to drop it down here because there's some baits I'm trying to bid on. And I messaged Mr. Velvick. And guess what? He said, here's my cell phone number. Let's talk. I'll do a podcast with you possibly. So y'all got to let me know what y'all want me to ask Byron Velvick. Thanks, Eric Riley. I appreciate it. So, my buddy, my boy Scott Schwacker over at Hog Farmer. If you like the Magnum shaky heads, man, he's got the deal going. So these right here I got in my hands, these have 8/0 hooks in them. 1 ounce, 3/4 ounce. So I know a lot of guys like that big old shaky head out on the Tennessee River ledges. This dude has got the ones. For these big straight tail worms, I do like these big shaky heads. You can take this big freaking bullworm. I always like to tip them on worm straight so I can get these heads in. Got a big old screw. It's a big stout hook. You can use like 20-pound test on this, but screw that big old bullworm in here. This is the 3/4 ounce head, so you can throw this on your flipping stick. And it's a pretty thick hook too. Go to Mexico, you want to catch jinks on a shaky head, that's what you use. So you take that 8/0, there's a big giant shaky head on that bullworm. But you'll notice the bottom here is nice and flat, so you can drag this along. If you've got an Upton's Reaper worm, it stands up. Brad, I've had, it's called Baitman Raw. I'll put it on Podbean, and I'll upload it here on YouTube as well. I haven't done one in a couple weeks. I'm going to knock one out this week. I ain't got to ask Byron Velvet to know his ex-wife was batshit crazy. That is a gaff. Now, he makes this in a 7, a 6, and a 5/0. My favorite is the 1/2 ounce 6/0. I think that's the best. Now, some guys, they want that big 8/0 hook. And he sells a ton of those. But I love that. You can get them in brown and all kinds of colors. But he makes this big Magnum shaky all the way down to 3/8. Let's see what else. If I got one up here. Yeah, so this is a good one. This is a 5/8 with the 8/0 hook. My personal favorite is 1/2 ounce with the 6/0 hook. But if you got those big bullworms, man, and you're afraid your hook's too small, gotta get those big Hog Farmers. Yeah, throw these. I got a little basket below me so I don't lose them. So Power Team Lures is something that I feel like it's really niche-y. It's almost a Texas deal, and I don't know, they in a lot of places around here carry them. Jelly worms old school. I don't have any anymore. I grew up fishing them, and it's a good worm. And the one I wish I had is the Mr. Twister 13-inch Phenom worm. That was a bad man. Baitman Jr.'s in bed. Bait Girl is in bed with the wife. If the lakes are high in water level, like 10 to 15 foot high, where do bass go? The old bank line. And any place where I like to fish places where there's a lot of verticality in the land. Instead of it being real flat, I look at the bank and see where the land's going up and down. A lot of times, those bass, you're better off finding a place where the water is stopped from spurting out, and it concentrates those bass in that one area. Try Live is good. Ron, if I was going to Paris Landing tomorrow, I'd tie on a frog. Just a heads up. That's all I'm saying. I do throw the baby huey, Silas. That's about as it for spade tails. Let's see what else I got here. This is kind of the original really big worm. Big straight tail. And that's the Excite Maximus. I love this color. It's called Plumpkin. It's kind of a version of pumpkin and plum. I like throwing that on that big shaky head. Our guy Brent Anderson loves the Excite big worm, man. He throws on a big Hog Farmer style shaky head. Catches them really, really well. I found the Zoom Mag trick worm several colors. Plum is the closest. What do you like? I'm plum. I like the Mag trick worm and plum. Red bug. Killer Dawn is really good. Green pumpkin blue. What shitty soda are you lit up on tonight? This is Mountain Dew. You're a hammer, Ryan. You're going to catch them anyway. Does anyone else on YouTube talk about baits like you do for the days you don't stream? I don't know. Sometimes Smallmouth Crush talks baits. Eric talks the baits. And then Travis, he basically drinks and talks baits. But the old stuff was good. I wish I had access to all that stuff again, but I will soon. But I love the Maximus worm from Excite. It floats really, really well. A great, great worm. Good people at Excite too, man. Got to give them credit. They're really one of the first companies to really be making these big, long, straight tail worms. I would say them and Upton's Hand Pullers were kind of the first guys, and Excite really mainstreamed it. I'm surprised Zoom hasn't knocked this off. Let's see. Let's get into some others. This is the VMC Wild Thing, okay? So very similar. You know, you got this new 6 cents worm right here. Someone commented. You know, the 6 cents has got its own style, but it's definitely very similar to the Wild Thing. And I'm going to be really honest with you guys. I'm not a fan of these style worms. I'm not a fan of the Reaper style. Not saying they won't catch fish, because I know guys that like them. Just not my style of fishing. I'm more of, I love this big straight tail, new prototype divine worm. Really, really like that. Not much, but you know, if we took, I should just rip one off and put a lighter on it. I would like to put that tail on this worm, and I think we got something. Matter of fact, I'm thinking about doing it. You want to light some shit on fire? We're fixing to. This is a cool worm. I don't throw it a lot, but this is kind of a shaky head deal right here. He throws a Ned rig drink squat closets 2 notches above guys using spinning reels upside down. Wow. Brad Crumb bringing the heat. Hag's Tornado is a sweet, sweet worm. I'm going to go find a lighter, and we're going to make our own worm here on live stream. But let's talk about this worm right here. We got to talk about it. OG, straight up Zoom. Oh, monster. Just a 9.5-inch worm. Love this color. Plum crazy. It's got some gold flake in it. It's got some gold. It's got some blue. I really love plum crazy. When I find these, I buy them because it's kind of hard to find the plum crazy. And then remember what I was talking about earlier? Oh, Killer Dawn. Dude, Killer Dawn is nasty in this worm. And got to give a shout out to my buddy at Dawn Coffee Rep Group, Jason Kidd. If you're watching Jason, he's the one that turned me on to Killer Dawn and Oh Monster. So 240 tonight, man. Smash the like button. We got to get back up in that 300 to 500 range. I guess the coronavirus knocked some people out, but that's okay. I'm going to go find a lighter. If I can find a lighter quickly. And we're going to make our own worm. So what I'm going to do, because I got plenty of these, I'm going to take this 6 cents. These are both prototypes. And I'm going to blend them to make what I think is the ultimate big worm. So I'll go ahead. I'm going to cut the tail off this guy right here. I'm going to cut it a little long. And then I'm going to cut the tail. Let's see, where do we want this thing to go? Ooh, about right there. About right there, yeah. Oh, that ain't bad at all. Cut the long tail. It's almost like a ribbed clout worm. Ribbed for their pleasure, not for yours. Dude, plum crazy as a deal. So I think if we can heat this up and mesh them together. It's going to be a little long. I'm going to cut it just a little bit more. Be right back. I'm going to go find a lighter. Probably my kids are going to scream at each other. Well, that took a while, but I got a lot of it. Oh, we're back. I'm back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Alright. What the heck? Now I lost my daggum tail. Did all that work and I lost my tail on my prototype. You gotta be kidding me. I'm back. I am back. Wish it was no, I ain't getting no free bait and tackle. I wish I could give y'all some free bait and tackle. We enter the giveaways. Alright, I gotta get another one of those prototype worms. Oh, dang. Hey, why is this door open? Okay. Alright, we're going to be back in business. Sorry about that. Jeez. I don't own any Guggen baits either. Don't worry, bud. You ain't missing out on nothing. Alright. Let's cut this thing. It may work, it may not. But this is why I do things that I do. So I'm going to cut me a little slit down here in the worm. And I'm going to place this little tail in here. I'll tell you what I need, some daggone, oh man. This could work really good. Or it could work really bad. So I'm going to try to fuse this together. Got me some needle nose pliers here to kind of hold it in where I don't burn my hand. Let's go. Let's light some shit on fire. Well, the 6 cents plastic's very flammable, so that's nice. Getting there. Gonna have to get, I got part of it fused. Now it can come undone. I'm gonna have to heat it up more than that. I think this is gonna look cool once I get it done. These needle nose suck too, by the way. I've got caulk all over them. Alright, let's try this again. I'm going to heat it up. Oh yeah, we burning shit now, boys. The white substance is caulk. Alright. Shit. Shit's hot. I want to cool it down just enough to where I can kind of manipulate the plastic together. Gosh damn. It's kind of crazy. Now, let's get that in there. Man, I have melted worms together for a long time. I don't understand why this is... There we go. Kind of cool this down. Citizens sold out is what happened, Ken. Let's see if I can mash this in together. Not bad. Not bad. It's definitely a little off. See if I can mold this a little bit more. Yeah, we're setting stuff on fire here. How do I work a chatterbait? I think I answered that last night. I just throw it out there and reel it in, and I'll let it fall, pull it up, kind of do some twitch. I do not just throw it and crank it to the boat. You're right, Chuck. My mend it is done for. Mend it would be the easiest way to do that, but you know what? It looks a lot cooler when I use a lighter. I don't know. It's pretty redneck, but we get the point. Actually, you look at it that way. It's not too shabby. Be honest with you, I don't like it. I don't like it. I had a good idea. Don't like it. Needs more of a ribbon tail. Basically, if you could take this segmented worm and make a 12-inch ringworm, like the Lucky Strike ringworm, but let's make it with this ribs, dude, I'd be all about that. It's actually held together pretty well now. Paddle tail and brush hog, we could try that. Why don't the looters burn Cabela's? Probably because they can't resell. They don't want to resell stuff on the black market. Never thrown the eye-jack. Oh, the Citizen was yesterday? Well, hell, no wonder. Well, I don't know what kind of worms I can combine. But yeah, I kind of like that. Just an idea. You know, somebody can refine this a whole lot better. I don't know why they don't loot Cabela's, to be honest with you. Probably because only people like us know what's in the store. There's no flat screen TVs, and they don't sell beer in Cabela's. So that's the craziest thing. I always see people looting, and it's either flat screen TVs or beer. And clothes, you know. I would love to do a 24-hour in Bass Pro Shop challenge. If they would let me do that, that would be awesome. A 24-hour live stream in Bass Pro Shops. Would they let me do it? Two T-Max in one. I don't know. We can try it. We can try it. I don't want to burn up any of my good stuff. I think I burnt my hand too. Alright. So, if you guys don't know, Dude, that's really not bad. It's growing on me. It's growing on me, but I still think we need a ribbon tail on this, and it would be perfect. I do like the bloodline. Yeah, I would like to. If Bass Pro Shop would let me do like a 24-hour stream. Yeah, they tore up the College Football Hall of Fame in Georgia. That's terrible, man. What the hell did college football do to anybody? But yeah, do a 24-hour live stream from Bass Pro Shop. I think would be awesome. And basically, I can stream down every aisle for like an hour apiece. You know, like we're here in the jig section. We're gonna go through every jig Bass Pro Shop has, and then we're gonna go to the worms. I wish they would let me do that. I think it'd be awesome. Cut a little V all the way down this tail. I still need to weld this thing up some more, I think. Let's burn it some more. All right. A little V down the tail. I can't cut. That's one thing that's a fact. I can't figure out how to cut. Oh, that kind of looks cool. If you cut a little V in the tail, now I kind of like that. Or we can thin this thing up a little bit. How about we do that? Almost a ribbon tail. Let's see. They say if they cross the White House fence, they will shoot them. Well, they're going to shoot you if you cross the White House fence anyway. It has nothing to do with riding. Favorite worm at night is just an old monster. I throw an old monster black and blue one at night, or power worm and blue fleck. I don't really think paddle tail, straight tail makes a difference at night. I'm just, I want something kind of big and bulky. Anyway, we got a few more worms. You guys were asking if I can reach them. If I can reach them. Divine. So this is the 7-inch version. Love this color. They also make a plum, so don't get me cross. I love the plum. But this is Bluegrass Magic. This is their big Divine Shaky Worm. If you guys really like the Magic Crawl, you will like that. Dude, that one's got a lot of blue in it. I like the ones that are kind of almost a laminate, like this guy, where it's got a lot of green pumpkin blue in it, and it's got a lot of that Magic Crawl look. And then these pair perfect with the 6-inch shaky heads. So like this one's a 3/8. Again, I'm gonna quit biting these damn worms. I like to take the tip off. Just the tip. Just the tip. Anyone ever told a girl that? Just the tip. I'm just giving you a tip. And I don't like a lot of EWG shaky heads, but I really like theirs. Oh man. So this guy's nasty right here. This is nasty. Really like that right there. But that's the Divine Shaky Worm. Now that's only the 5/0 hook, and this is a 7-inch worm. If you want to do it, you can go up to, I believe this next one I have is this is a 1/2 ounce with a 6/0 hook. I really do like their shaky heads. Oh yeah. So I want the blue color toward me. Oh yeah, I actually think that 6/0, that's nasty. That's really good on that 7-inch one. Love that Divine Shaky Head Worm. Flip tail worm fan. Not really. Dude, I would love to see shad scales in a deep diver. For sure. if you're teaching a 5-year-old, small stuff, man. Teaching a 5-year-old, the best way to teach them to fish, to be honest with you, is slip cork and a cricket and night crawlers. If I'm taking kids fishing, I really don't want to bore them to death, and I've learned that a lot too. I have done a Brad Crumb. I did a podcast with Luke Duncan, first one I ever done, actually. Actually, second one. I'm sorry, but you don't want to bore your kids, man, or they'll not want to go with you. And that's why I really didn't take Baitman Jr. a lot with me. We're going to start doing some bluegill fishing rallies. He's gone. Or go to a pond, place where you're going to get a lot of bites. Don't use stuff that's difficult to use. Strike King, little mini pond king, spinner baits, little small crankbaits. Just get them something. Swim baits are excellent, like Kitex and stuff like that. That's true, Chuck. I know quite a bit about that. Everybody is having difficulty. It's not just 6 cents. There's a lot on that. Man, I've had some guys really offer me a lot of money on those Citizens, and I want to fish with them more than I want to sell them. I'll put it that way. What about the carp? They're slamming the banks where bass used to be. I think the carp are there. I mean, let's just be honest. On Kentucky Lake, the carp have been there for a long time. It's not just the carp that are hurting the bass fishing. Because I'm going to tell you right now, 4 years ago, I was catching a lot of bass under schools of carp. I think our carp population is a lot higher than our bass population. And I don't know if the population of carp hurt the bass, is what I'm saying. Because I know those bass eat those baby carp. Dude, thanks so much for joining again, Tom. I appreciate you. I'm trying to clean up a little bit in here. You know what I mean? But I love these shaky worms. When I got the prototypes, I went out to my place at Lake X and just jacked them up. Dude, Epic Eric and I could do an excellent topwater show. We need to get that done. Put these up. Yeah. That's a weird comment. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to let you guys know. A lot of people have been commenting about Mike's Tackle World. Do they have a website? And to be honest with you, they got a website. But I don't think Mike's Tackle World is ever going to do e-commerce. It's basically Joanne and Mike's daughter and son that does that. And I've got my own separate little shaky head terminal box here, because I don't care what terminal box you got. You can't get all your shit in one terminal box. So I've got a shaky head box, and what I do is I've gotten to taking the little round tubes out of my I missed one. Round tubes out of my Calcos bow box, and making me some like to-go stuff. If pike are allowed to get big, can they decimate the bass population pretty quick? Probably not. The thing is, there's a lot more bass than there is pike. All those northern lakes, they're full of muskie and pike and stuff like that, and it really doesn't hurt the population. Yeah, Academy, they do have a pretty nice terminal, but again, I'm a Bass Mafia guy. They support me, support my channel. Matter of fact, I got off the phone with Bart earlier today, and he said, dude, if you need anything, you let me know. I'll take care of you. I said, I think we need to do a giveaway for our viewers. And he said, I'm down. So again, I like to support the people who support me. I'm not on no Bass Mafia Pro staff, but their stuff works good enough for me, and I'm cool. Melon Dawn, yeah, man, I like that color. I've got one right here, bud. See if I can find it. See if I can find old Melon Dawn. That cinnamon crave, that's a good one. Worm juice, that's a good color. Here's the Melon Dawn and the Clout, man. The Clout's nasty. It's probably one of my favorite single style baits. Well, Bass Mafia boxes aren't heavy. This right here, this is lighter than a Plano box, man. You get the 3700, 3600. So this is the casket. This is the new 2.0. I love this box. And stuff like that, that is a heavier box. But they're built heavy duty to protect your stuff. I love the clear coffins, man. I love them. They are pricey. But y'all think Bass Mafia is expensive? Go price up the new Plano Edge stuff. I was going to buy one today. When they wanted $29 for a thin box, which is half the size of that, I said, no, hell no. I'm not, the jerk bait, the double barrel, it's not bad. It's really good if you want to keep your baits in your boat. You know what I mean? For storing like I do, I'd rather just have a big 3700 casket. We did a creature baits one, Bobby, here about a month ago, 2 months ago. I'll throw June bug. June bug is my favorite night fishing color. You're not supposed to be out here. Get your dog. I know some guys that throw the 10-inch mag draft. The top 3 on Kentucky Lake, big swim baits, probably an 8-inch mag draft. I know guys throwing that and caught them pretty good. The big Berkley power mullet and an osprey. That's probably the best big swim baits. You know, we throw a lot of soft swim baits out here, but that osprey smashed them out here. Baitman, I have a lot of Zoom mag trick worms in my inbox. What colors? Plum, blue flack. I like California 420. That's a good one to find. Killer Dawn. Whatever you kind of, you know, my best may not be your best. They make black and blue, all that. Any color that you're good with on a old monster is good in the mag trick. Osprey, top hook, term, and talon. What are my thoughts on cormorants? God, man, I got a pain in my back. It's not like a back pain. It's like a daggone kidney stone or something. I don't want any, Bob. Don't be buying me no tackle. Trust me, I got plenty mag trick worms. I just need that one color. Tomato seed old monster is nasty. That's a good one. It's really crazy. One thing I will say, do I think color matters? Yes, but I don't think it's, I think the profile it's making in the water matters. I think the red hues make a different profile than the blacks and blues in your green pumpkins. But June bug at night, that's the deal. I use a brush hog or old monster June bug. And I've tried different creature baits in June bug at night. The game hog and a brush hog and June bug. That's the two deals. I don't have a Hinkle shad, man. I would like to get one, but man, I'll spend some money on some dumb stuff, but I really don't want to spend $300 on a Hinkle. Best big worm fisherman on tour, Larry Nixon, is really good. I mean, Larry Nixon, he knows more about worm fishing than I ever will. No problem, Corey. Thanks so much for that $5. Make you holler. Glad you joined in tonight, man. Make sure you guys smash that like button for me. Give it a share. Let's see how many people we're up to tonight. 268, man. We got to break that. We got to break that 268. We need to get like at least 300 before I jump off here. Yeah, dude. Ben's got one. Roman made lures, not a gimmick, man. The price is crazy because it's all handmade stuff like that. I have seen the Busby tackle. That's kind of interesting. And then there's another one that Omega, the groove fishing stuff, looks really good. Now here's a, look here. Just found this randomly in my wife's floorboard. dark sleeper. Russell Cecil, he's a Texas legend, man. Russell Cecil's a legend there. But Larry Nixon, believe it or not, Brandon Polnick is really good with the big worm. He's a great big worm fisherman. Brent Ayler's a great worm fisherman. All right, we'll open this up to Q&A now. We've been on stream for an hour and a half. Let's get some Q&A. Let's assault the Guggen Squad. Let's do something. I got to get me a dip, man. Hornsby, I love that speedweight, man. I also seen your comment on my Gunnersville stuff. I always get a crack when I get on Facebook. Now, usually I'm on a personal account, and then I see some of my subs comment. Blake's a good dude. I really like you, Blake. I'm not going to assault the Guggens, but we may, we'll talk some ish about them. Favorite citizen, I like, actually, for practical use where I can go fish anywhere, I like the 6-inch citizen, and purple shad, but that looks really gizzard shadish to me. Dude, a 12-inch floating worm, that would be cool. So I want to tell y'all a secret on this live stream stuff. A lot about this stuff is YouTube knows what you talk about and stuff. When you start talking hot topics like Guggens and all this stuff, I swear when I start talking Guggen Squad for 5 minutes, it's gonna go up. See, I mentioned Guggen Squad just a minute ago. Just jumped 6 more live viewers. Billy knows I haven't thrown it out on the ledges yet. I talked to Jake Lawrence earlier. Me and him got some stuff we're going to take care of out there on the ledges, and that'll be one thing. No problem, Frankie. We'll see you next week. So, favorite all-around worm setup? That's a great question. First dip I've had in 2 days, by the way. My favorite is a Dobbins 744. Dobbins 744, full handle cork, and whatever 100 size reel you want. You don't have to have big giant reels and rods. I'll be honest, I caught a ton of fish on a 7-foot 2 or 7-foot medium heavy rod. Sensitivity is the deal. A Loomis, if I had the money, the only thing I like better, I'll put it this way, the only thing I like better than the 744 Dobbins Champion 8 XP, the $300 one, is a NRX 854. And you don't need some specialized reel. Dude, you can put 17-pound test. That's what I throw a big worm on for the most part. Now, I do like throwing a big worm on 14-pound fluorocarbon, especially when it gets later in the year. I think you get more bites on that light line. Pal makes a good rod, but for me, I'm going to throw a Dobbins. If I had the money, NRX. And I'll be honest, dude, that 6-inch sensory rod, for the price, it's damn good. 8-inch swim bait line through. I get short strikes. Do I need a trailer? 2-inch line with treble. You can do that. If you're getting a lot of short strikes, a lot of guys, what they do is they stop the bait. Keep it moving. Fish it really, crank the handle 3 times, even though it's small, and let it just dart out of there. Sometimes those fish grab it out of reaction. But definitely get you some of those owner stinger trebles. Those will work. So, I used to throw a big worm quite a bit on 14-pound fluorocarbon, and you definitely get a lot of bites with that lighter line. The problem is we have a lot of mussels here on Kentucky Lake, the zebra mussels, and then we have, I like to fish brush piles. Once you start, fluorocarbon is, for the most part, it's not very abrasion resistant, and you will break off a lot fishing deep. But you'll get a lot more bites on that lighter line. Dobbin's best chatterbait rod, 736 glass, is really hard to beat, man. And is one of the best chatterbait rods out there. And then I like the $169 Daiwa Tatula Elite big topwater bladed jig graphite rod. I've got one. It's awesome. Hey, St. Chris, I talked to my guy over there at High Tech Outdoors. Give him a call. He said he will ship rods. So, what are you picking between a Fury and SLX for bottom baits? Now, I know what the Fury feels like. I've never used the SLX rod, so I can't be straight up with you there. Yeah, dude, it's all about internet connection. You know, of course, Darren, he was drinking beer, so he was getting blurry, just like the screen. So I tuned in. He wouldn't tell me. I said, what size inseam do you wear on your shorts? And he tried to tell me his waist size. So he's had a few too many tonight. I actually messaged him and said, Darren, let's go fishing. I'm ready to go. And I made a challenge. I said, hey, Darren, how about if I beat you, you got to wear my shorts. And if you beat me, I'll wear your shorts. And he won't respond. Maybe he's afraid to wear normal shorts. I don't know. Glass over graphite on chatterbaits, kind of like a crankbait, man. You feel the fish before they feel you. In a person preference, I don't think you lose as many fish on a glass rod, but I do think a graphite rod, it's a lot better for fighting bigger fish. Dude, I love the SLX reels. They're great. Stupid Darian. Yeah. That is stupid Darian. I like Darian though. He's a good dude. Dude, my hair is looking wicked, man. It's coming back all patchy and stuff. Then again, I just keep wearing the hat. I've got to get this monstrosity beard thing fixed up, so. Dude, Jake Lawrence is a great guy. No problem, Caleb. Thanks for joining in, bud. Make sure y'all like and share, too. I will make a thumbnail with this thing. But I talked to Jake Lawrence today, and he said, we got to go soon. And Jake's going to come on here and give away some ledge secrets. And he was on last year, and we broke down some screenshots. Do y'all want to see some screenshot breakdowns of what fish look like, brush piles, how to set up on them, stuff like that? Maybe talk about some baits. Jake's one of my favorite people in the world, by the way. He's just a great guy. I believe the Dobbins is composite. See, 304. We're talking Googans. That's what you need, St. Cress. You need to get a custom Guggen Squad rod. I promise you it will be amazing if you get that Mondo Worm special they got. So, I mean, let's be honest here. I'm not a very good finesse fisherman. I don't think anybody would buy a Baitman finesse rod. I'm a pretty good worm fisherman. I'll be honest, I love throwing a worm. I'm probably a better worm fisherman and jig fisherman than I am anything, but I like throwing cranks and swim baits the most. But I don't, you know, I just be honest, I don't trust Lunkers TV making me a big bait all around rod. I mean, for the most part, those guys fish ponds for a long time. I'm just kidding, St. Cress. So Conquest is an awesome rod. It's got the spiral wrapping on it. It's got way more backbone than NRX. But it is not as sensitive. It's a very sensitive rod, but not as sensitive as an NRX and not as light. So here's the deal. What I'm wanting to do is possibly do the Guggen, not Guggens, a Baitman membership deal, kind of like you know, like Milliken has the MFers. Y'all can be the master baiters or something like that. If YouTube will let me. And I don't. The problem is I don't want to offer a membership and just say, all right, I'm gonna give you a couple new videos a month. I want to do something where if you're a member to this channel, you're going to get like a shirt, a hat, and a sticker. And then the next month, your first month membership, you get a shirt, a hat, and a sticker. And then maybe we'll do some bait packs. I'll talk to some of these companies and see if, hey, man, this month you're going to get a bait pack from, you know, Netbait. This one's 6 cents is going to do a special one and stuff like that. I've not tried an ecstasy. I've not tried ecstasy, period. I've never put a drug in my body. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut the sides down on the beard, and we're gonna go long. I'm gonna go get that Justin Royal special going. Shout out to Justin if you're watching, buddy. More and more. Purple chartreuse bundle. That's what I'm talking about, Colin J. That, I know it scares me when I'm throwing a football jig with the old. I used to throw a football jig on NRX 854, which is a really good one, or 894, and I felt like I was going to blow it up every time I set the hook. It makes a weird sound too, but they are stupid light. The only problem I had about the NRX is they had some crappy reel seats at one time. Yeah, I need to quit chewing ice. That's probably a worse habit I have than dipping, to be honest with you. But yeah, so that's kind of what I was thinking. Do a masturbators club and have a shirt and maybe a hat, and then maybe box of baits every month. You know, obviously I got the Baitman box with 6 cents, so I don't really want to cross through that. But you know, I'd like to be able to use that to get the extra funds to maybe be able to quit my job and do YouTube as well. It's not something I'm looking to. I just don't want to take people's money and not give anything back. I mean, adding new video content is cool, but I don't have time to produce that much video content right now. What would be easier for me is like, hey, you know, you join the masturbators or the bait fans or whatever, and you get some new stuff. Oh, my wife's up and she's yelling at the kids. 336. See, we're climbing. Let's see if we can hit 400. We'll get that 400. That's right. So one thing I do love about Dobbin is they had the best rod warranty, pretty much. Dude, Andrew, how about masturbating for big girls? Mmm. Guggen's made it to California Walmart. Sad sight. Well, look, man, and I'm just going to keep it real. I can't hate on them. That's good business, man. They're in everywhere, and they're selling a ton of baits. And you know what? That's cool. Dobbin's more sensitive IMX Pro. I'm not a big fan of the new IMX Pros, man. I like the old school ones. The old IMX Pros were nice. The new ones, they're not bad rod at all. Don't get me wrong. But they don't have the same feel. Alright, I'm getting rid of this. First dip I've had in 2 days, and it tastes awful. I'm not going to lie. That might be the one that seals it for me. That might be the last dip I ever have. That's pretty bad. Yeah. I don't. So here's the deal. I don't hate the Guggen Squad for their business ventures. I think it's great. Um, I would do it, Cole. I would absolutely loot the Guggen HQ. That would be hilarious to see on CNN. Fishing headquarters looted and just a bunch of people packing Guggen baits out. Thanks, Chris. Uh, I would love to get Matt Allen back on, man. Matt and Tim, and they were as nice as possible. Said, man, we would love to do it, but we have turned down so many people who don't want to make anybody mad, and I totally get that. Totally do. Got me in a Buka bullgill, tossed it for the first time today, and wow, that clunky piece of wood out of the water comes to life. Dude, here's the deal about a Buka bait. They don't look crazy. I mean, they look like a piece of wood. But dude, when you put them suckers in the water, because Buka test swims every single bait that he puts in a package, and if you have an issue, you can't call him because he's deaf as shit, and I like to talk crap about him because he can't hear me. But just email him or find him on Facebook, and Buka will help you out. There you go, Brad. That's basically what I'm saying. I don't like the fact that the hard baits are really a knockoff of everything. The soft plastics, I understand. I mean, there's not, a lot of soft plastics are pretty much a version of somebody else's, and that's okay. But the hard baits, I feel like a lot of guys are using the same style. You look at a company like Duo Realis is really good about having their own style hard baits. And 6 Cents has done a good job for the most part. Now, the Crush 50 and 100 are very similar to the RC 1.5, 2.5, and the KVD baits. No big deal there. What their deal is always going to be the paint jobs. But their newer stuff is definitely different. Berkley Dredgers, man, they come out with their own style of hard baits. But I don't get too torn up and stuff. But I do like how... well, Silas, here's the deal. When you can't fish, when you do shitty in tournaments, I guess you got to do something. I'll be honest, I listened to the Luke Duncan deal, and when he said he wanted to prove it would be tournament fishing's easy or something like that, and he don't have to fish tournaments, he don't have nothing to prove. The dude fished 2 tournaments and finished like in the bottom 10%. He was terrible. So I'm not going to lie, man. You can, nothing against Texas. Dude, I love my Texas people, but there's a big difference between fishing some of these lakes and power plant lakes in Texas, then come over here and come do some offshore fishing on Kentucky Lake and Pickwick, and don't get any info and tell me how well you do. It's totally different. So, I am 30 minutes from the Goober headquarters. I'm spraying Baitman on the building. Do this. Go to the Googan Squad headquarters and don't spray nothing on the building, and just take a poster or something, put Baitman said what's up, screenshot it to me. Dude, I think the Provoke for the money is one of the best jerk baits out there, and I've caught a lot of fish on it, and I know guys that buy them, and that's the only thing 6 Cents they'll buy is the Provoke, and they love it. It's just really good. Duo Topwater Pencil is very good. Is there a good retirement for bass fishermen? Not really. So that's why you see a lot of bass fishermen working, doing boat shows, seminars, and stuff like that. There's just not a retirement fund set up for those guys. Yeah, film yourself, go to the Googan Squad headquarters, say, man, I'm looking for a good tackle shop. Do y'all carry 6 Cents? That's what I need to do. You want a viral video? I'll drive down there and ask if they got any 6 Cents baits. That would be hilarious. I bet they would kick me out. Travis, I don't know why that would happen unless like they've changed the weighting inside of them or something. Good question, Brad. One bait or lure you wish would come back into production. I actually really liked the True Tungsten Mad Max frog. That's one I would love to see come back. I just got one the other night, but that's a really good frog. Now the old ones, Hellabass will tell you, they were really hard, but if you get the second run that are really soft, man, that's a really, really good frog. And I'd like to see this right here, man, to be honest with you. The Jackal Aska, man, I love this square bill. It's hard to find a lot of these square bills now that's got a micarta lip on it. You know, these things are awesome in the water, man. They're a little bit lighter, and you can tell, like you hold this and a 100 from 6 Cents or a KVD, this bait's a little bit lighter, and does some crazy stuff. Yeah, everybody would fish tournaments if they had team tournaments. Why doesn't he fish the Bass Champs is what I want to know. There's a giant team tournaments in Texas. I don't see him fishing Bass Champs or Texas Team Trail. Or, hey, I'll give it to my boy Darren. He fishes the ABTs, and Darren does really good. And I've seen Darren almost win a couple ABTs. My buddy Blake Hall, he's an awesome fisherman down there on Gunnersville. He fishes the ABT trail. I've almost got to where it's such a good trail, I'd like to find someone down in Alabama that would like to fish the ABTs with me. I'm a hell of a net man. Yeah, Todd Castledine, Ray Hanselman, I think they fish the Texas Team Trail. I know they fish the Bass Champs. I've seen Castledine on there. I wish Lunkers TV would buy my truck and make a video. It is a damn super truck. You got to do what you got to do for the views. Dude, Pad Crasher is an amazing bait. For the price, it's one of the best frogs you can get. I mean, here's the deal. I don't hate Lunkers TV. So I will give them this. Here's what they did. They got a giant following of fishermen and got their subscriber base way up, which is great. And then they started branching off, doing other stuff. And, hey, whatever. But Cecil and Castledine, dude, those two in one boat together, whew. Whew, that's stout. But Alabama ABT Bass Trail down there, they fish Gunnersville, Pickwick, Wheeler, Neely Henry, Logan Martin. Man, it's a stout deal. What do you think about the frogginess on the sick? What do you? I don't know what the frogginess is. Somebody just sent me a message, so I got to look and see what my man Robert said. That's odd. Oh, probably I would say 2 to 3 weeks. Lake Fork guy is actually a pretty good fisherman, so I don't know if Scott Martin is like he's part owner of, I don't know, man. I don't understand. I think Scott's a good business guy, and when he's seen these guys that were really rising in subscribers, he invited them to go fishing. It worked out good for him. He got a ton of 12 to 16-year-old kids to follow his channel, and they got a bunch of fishermen to follow their channel, and it is what it is, man. You know, I'm not going to, I'd love to go hang out with Cole and Jay and let me wrangle some snakes. No spiders, Cole, but we can do some snakes and some lizard hunting. And I know Cole has got some old school baits. So that's what I'd like to do. Just if I'm going to collaborate, I'm going to go fishing, and I'm not trying to jump my subs up. I just want to, you know, shoot cool videos. Moloch Sneaky Frog's a pretty good one, Billy. I haven't got one. I'm going to grab some more frogs. I've kind of been on a frog buying binge lately. I think that shallow water bite on Kentucky Lake is going to be the deal for a year or two, so you might want to get really good with a frog. I think John B's a cool dude. I met him. He seemed nice to me. Definitely, he's probably got more fishing knowledge than most of the guys, and Perrick was actually cool to me. I've told that story many times. Well, they had the house together and all that, and now, I don't know. Yeah, we'll go fishing. Absolutely, Cole. So, my plan is kind of do an Arkansas tour here pretty soon. No problem, Chuck. We've been on for 2 hours right now. I'm probably going to have to get off here and get a thumbnail soon. Let's see how many viewers we got. See if we can hit 400 before I get off here. Well, 377. Daggone, we're climbing. Andrew Flair is the most annoying fisherman on YouTube of all time. Fisherman, I mean, hell, he's a goat farmer now. What's the square bill with the bat on your left shoulder? So this isn't a square bill. I show this all the time. This is a Amakatsu wattle bats. Up to 382. Let's get it, boy. Let's get up to 400. So this is a crazy bait. Vincent, this is a wattle bats. You see on the back, it's got this little, it's almost like a tail. What this does is this bait's going through the water, it makes it kick left or kick right. It goes crazy. Just look up a wattle bat, Amakatsu wattle bat. They got a new one that's a bigger one. Dude, I would absolutely love to go fishing with Travis up north. That's the kind of guy I would like to go up there and learn some stuff from him. Thoughts on Luke Duncan MLF feud? I don't know. I don't know if there's really a feud there, but you know, there's a lot of people still upset about that deal, and I don't know. I know Luke, and I think he's a decent dude. Always been good to me. Go Vols. But I think there's a lot of bad juju between a lot of anglers that weren't in MLF and when MLF first started. But I will say this, if all that's true about Jim Wilburn calling Luke Duncan and basically threatened T.H. Marine with his job, I think that's shitty. I really do. Dude, wattle bat's action is crazy. It is not a burning bait. You reel it slow. And that's what I'm going to tell guys right now. When you buy the 6-cent Axis, if you burn it, you're going to be disappointed. But if you get the right medium, slow pace retrieve, dude, it does some crazy good things. So, Cave Run, man, that's a great lake. Not a lot of guys talk about it. I love the Plopper 75. It's got a really deep sound to it. And to be honest with you, I like that Chapo, man. Chapo's a good bait. I would like MLF if Boyd Duckett was involved. You know, I met Boyd. He's always been nice to me. By the time, bud, you got to quit knocking off baits. It is what it is. I need to find a good sale on them Chapos. I've got one up here. Yeah, I'm still can't get used to this short hair. I'm used to like playing with my hair, but I don't think I look too bad. I still kind of look like Private Pile off of Saving Ryan's Privates, or not that. What's the name of Private Pile? God dang it, Full Metal Jacket. That's it. I like to work that 75 like a frog. They can't see. Oh, I tell you, one of the biggest bass I ever caught on a whopper plopper, I was ripping it like, you know, you would a devil's horse. I was fishing a gravel bar, and it was raining. And this fish come up, 2 or 3 fish come up and just bust on gizzard shad. And I made a terrible cast. So I just kind of ripped it 2 or 3 times. And, dude, all of a sudden, just crushed it, about a 5-pounder. It was nasty. And so I fish it like that quite a bit, especially around stumps. I kind of rip that plopper instead of just get that steady reel to it. All right, here's a good question from Clay. What baits do you have you think will be hard to get in the next couple years? I could see the older War Eagle spinner baits that are made in the United States. Like, you look on the package here, on the barcode on this War Eagle, it says made in USA. Versus, let's see if I got one that's not. Alright, so this one's made in Guatemala. I think it's going to be hard to get some of these original War Eagles. And some of the colors they used to make are going to get really hard to get. There's already some guys that are looking for some discontinued 6-cent stuff. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think the trash fish, original trash fish, will get really hard to get in a few years. Um, I know Benno, he's a great dude. He does have some health issues. Go ahead and start loading up on bass tricks if you can. They're going to get stupid hard to get. They've already quit making. Bruce has already quit pouring them. They're going to get really hard to get. If you like a hollow belly swim bait, bass tricks is going to be hard to get. Jackal, a lot of jackal baits like the Aska, the jackal. I just said it earlier. Bow stick, try to find those. Some of the Rapala stuff, you gotta watch those DT6 colors. Some go away really quick. And I would look at some striking baits being discontinued. I don't think your 5XD, 6XDs, but I've always heard the plan was to get the Series 3 and Series 4 gone. It's hard to find them, man. Gunnersville Tackle had some. Yeah, the way supply and demand is. What else? I think you'll see some of the Mega Bass soft baits, like some of the Spark Shads and some of that go away. Certain colors in Mega Bass are going to get discontinued. Just these companies can't have giant SKUs of 500 colors in one bait. Yeah, Bastrix is done. That was a good question, man. You're going to, yeah, I think you just see companies start doing away with colors and stuff, and looking at stuff that doesn't sell. Top waters are always ones that I could see Berkley discontinuing some of the newer stuff and redeveloping. But I mean, like Strike King, they're not going to discontinue a red eye shad. That's just not going to happen. So the XD series is really got a the bill's not as wide, and they're meant to dive deeper. Usually the bodies on a Series 4, 5, and 6 are bigger than an XD series. So basically, Bruce at Bass Tricks has gotten older. He's got health issues, and he had a bunch of people working for him that weren't really checking quality, and they sent so many bad baits out there. He did a couple new batches and just said, you know what? I'm done. Unfortunately, the knockoff people really hurt him. So many people were buying Zoom Swimmers and True Bass and all this other stuff that was basically a copy of a Bass Tricks. It just hurt his sales so bad. And he was having some quality issues. His molds were old, and he said, you know what? This is it. I'm not talking bad about those other brands. I like the Zoom Swimmer. True Bass is what it is. I haven't got any new ones. They're fine. Scottsboro Tackle, totally different, but dude, Devil's Horse has catch some monster bass. Yeah, that was I'm a Lures makes a really skinny topwater bait like that, and that's what that bait was trying to imitate. Again, that's a really niche bait. I gotta use the bathroom. Alright. That's the one good thing about living in the country. If I need to use a bathroom, I just walk outside on my back porch and do what I need to do. Osprey, I like the Tournament Top Talon. That's my favorite. And then I like, for shallow, I like the line through Talon. Has anyone tried that Strike Pro bait with the jitterbug lip on it? Isn't that basically the Livingston Walking Boss? I did not get any 7.5 battle shads yesterday. I've got this one right here. I've got is a 7.5. It's just not the one with the head case. So what you probably have, LG, is you probably have a Series 6 um, mixed in with the 6XD. Unless the body's the same. The Series 6 body's very similar to a 6XD. But that's right. So I'm fixing to jump off here. You know, I've been streaming for 2 hours and 10 minutes now. 382 people watching. I hate to leave the people behind, but that's what we got to do. I've got to make some thumbnails. I'm starving. I haven't eaten nothing today. And so guys, what I'm going to try to do, if I can, I'm going to try to stream Friday nights and Saturday nights, back-to-back streaming nights. And if I get to, I'll do a surprise stream somewhere during the week. But I don't know about how many people are going to watch at 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. So I like doing them at night, especially on the weekends. Instead of, you can watch, that gives you something to watch other than the liberal news media. So anyway, I want to let you guys go fishing. I'm going to get off here, make a cool thumbnail, and do my thing, and then I'm going to try to get a video uploaded tomorrow evening of me and Brooks' latest tackle hunting session. So thanks guys so much for joining in. Make sure you smash that like button for me, yeah, share it and leave a comment after the video. I don't know what we're going to talk about, so make sure you leave a cool comment. Tell me your favorite worm of all time. How about that? Thanks guys.